Clixed Off is brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama. Check them out at luckydicecafe.com.
Welcome to Clixed Off Sudden Death.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Revamp of the Sudden Death podcast for Clixed Off. Now before we get started, if you're thinking you're about to hear three grown men talk about how much they just love to play pulp, you have clicked on the wrong episode. But since you're here, you should stay and give us a listen. I'm your host Sam Powell, and joining me on this inaugural revamp is my good friend, teammate, and 1/3 of the 2022 Team World Champions, TJ Wheeler.
Hey everybody.
Real quick, want to let everybody know that Clixed Off is sponsored by TrollandToad.com. Visit TrollandToad.com, the world's largest HeroClix dealer, for all your HeroClix and gaming needs. So if you're needing something specific for Worlds, and you need an order a piece to maybe fill out your collection, new and old, you can visit TrollandToad.com and find some great prices. Use the coupon code CLIXEDOFF for 5% off your HeroClix order. Merchant and pre-order items do not apply. So, TJ, we're back. Well, I mean, I'm back.
Yeah.
Having you on. So, I know if you're listening to this and you used to listen to the old Sudden Death podcast, Alex Coos and I used to do this. Alex has now graduated onto the main show as a host, and I had a lot of people come to me and say, Sam, you should redo Sudden Death, you should do something. So I know we kind of talked about it a little bit. So I'm just going to take the leap of faith and do it. I may not be as, what's the word I'm trying to think? I may not be as often of the show as the guys are. Consistent, yes. I won't be like a weekly show, but I want to be a fun show that people can listen to. The guys are going to talk meta and all that jazz, but I just want to talk about some just fun stories. I'm most likely going to have TJ on most of the time. I'm going to have Az, our other teammate, on, and then I also want to have some community members out there that are evolving and coming into the game, and just so everybody gets to know them. I know when I got to Gencon this year, there was a lot of great players that I had no idea that these people, they were like, yeah, I just started playing. They're, really good. So I think people really need to get to know these people. So, but yeah, just real quick. I mean, people know me. I mean, they probably know me because of Daniel. But let's go ahead. I'm going to give you some time, TJ. Tell the people here a little bit about yourself. When you started playing HeroClix, some of the pieces you like to play, and some of your major accomplishments.
Okay, yeah, I started playing back, the first set was Avengers Assemble, so this has been 7 or 8 years ago now. I play anything Magneto-based, so right now is a good time for me with Venom Magneto. I've spent a lot of time with the Uncanny X-Men Chase Magneto. He was one of my favorites. And recently, I've had a pretty good run this year so far. Did top 8 at Nationals, at Gencon, made top cut at 4 different states. And then last year with the Az and Tony, we won Team Worlds, and that was probably the biggest thing I've done in HeroClix.
That was so amazing. You've been on a roll, man. It's been amazing. And funny thing is, TJ, and don't kill me next time you see me, but I don't think I've ever told you this, but TJ and I go way back, because, we used to play, when we go to Lexington, I would see you, and then you would come to Bang, and this is when, Rock had events, and WizKids had events, and, the
Wait,
good
there was organized play before?
Yeah, the good old days, pre-ID card days. So,
Oh, wow, yeah.
but honestly, TJ, I didn't know your name. I knew you as the guy that wore the RKO shirt.
Oh my gosh.
Because
I did wear that a lot.
you wore every tournament that we were at, you wore the RKO shirt. So I was like, and I'll be the first to say I'm horrible with names, but you always wore the RKO shirt. And I was like, oh, I know that guy. He's pretty cool to play with. And like, we always have some good games. And you're just a great player. And I was like, but then, Dan was like, oh yeah, it's TJ. And I'm like, oh, he's got a name? Like, to me, he's RKO shirt. So,
and my name is initial, so that just works even better with that, right?
Yeah, perfect. Absolutely perfect. So, I just love having you part of the team. And so,
as I'll tell you, I'm very superstitious. So when I get a attire for events, I stick to it normally.
Oh,
so
yes.
The RKO shirt was the original.
Oh, yes, we know. For Gencon, you actually watched your outfit.
Exactly.
You said, I'm wearing the same shorts, the same shirt. I mean, did you wash your underwear and socks, or did you
I don't go that far.
Oh, okay.
That's the line. Shorts and shirt, yes.
Okay. I mean, just asking. Some people are very suspicious.
Yeah.
Superstitious. But, so let's go into, I know the guys talked about their Gen Con experience. We could talk about ours a little bit. I didn't get to go last year. We were just talking before this, is that, I got COVID last year, so I was kind of bummed, missed that out. But this year got to go, worked really hard, did a lot of studying, was able to make top 16, and did not go further than that, but that was a big accomplishment for myself, was drilling down to top 16, so that was one of my highlights. Had a good time with the guys at the house, and then also just talking to everybody. I got to meet a lot of people and talk to a lot of you guys, so appreciate anybody that came up to me. I'm sorry if I did not know your name or remember your name. I'm horrible with names, but it was good seeing a lot of people. So
yes, I went all in on Clixed this time at Gen Con. Normally I go and experience the con more. This time I kind of stayed in the one little WizKids area, which was actually nice for me because I got to watch a lot of good players play great games. And building that strategy going forward to trying to see what other people's minds were and how they were looking at the game. That was fun because you just practice your own team over and over again. You kind of lose sight of what everybody else is doing sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I know. When we were practicing, I mean, how much time did I spend worrying about Prime Spidey, and then I only faced one, and I annihilated it, and so and
right.
I mean, I spent so much time focusing on okay, I got to worry about this and this, and then I faced completely opposite teams. But I'll never forget our faces though. That morning of that Saturday when we were we're doing the Sam Powell fast learning of MOE,
yes.
And we were so where do we put this 2x1 elevated? And I was just right here, and both of us just looked at each other I think we just cured cancer.
That aha moment was awesome, and then I actually had to play the team we were looking at it for, so it worked out really well for me.
I know, and it just was one of those moments we were just whoa, did we just...
And I told Alyssa to thank you for that move of putting that there.
So, I mean, it was one of those, it's those moments I just love talking game with you, because like you said, you got to watch a lot of games, and you were actually helping a lot of us out, saying, hey, this is what I saw, and this is how they're playing this matchup, and that's just what I like having you around, for sure.
Yeah, I like treating it like like sports, you watch tape, and so watching other games is my way of kind of watching tape.
Yeah. And that's the best way, because, yeah,
seeing other people play the same piece as you are in different ways is very helpful.
They see things you don't see.
Exactly.
And I mean, like, I've been told that because, I mean, a lot of times I play something very similar to Daniel, but, you know, I'll play one or two pieces off, and I've, you know, they play Daniel, and then they play me, and they're just like, you played it completely different. I'm like, well, yeah, because we have two different play styles. Like, I mean, I learned from Daniel, but I also kind of did my own thing. Sometimes it doesn't pan out, so most of the time it doesn't, but... But
I mean, I generally play exactly the same thing he's playing, so I kind of get where you're coming from.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but you also play things a little different, though. And I know Daniel has learned from you as well, because he's like, wow, TJ did this, and I didn't even see it coming. Because I mean, it's what makes us human, that's what makes the game fun. I mean,
exactly.
You could play the exact same team, but, you know, it could pan out different every game. So, overall, I think Gencon was awesome.
It was a blast. It was
Yeah.
one of the most fun events in a couple of years.
Yeah.
As far as just, you know, hanging out with everybody, it's just awesome the whole time.
Yeah, you didn't play any, like, Pulp or Theme, did you?
No, I
No?
just played National Qualifier and then Nationals, and I just watched the rest of the time and then
Yeah.
took it all in.
Nice. Yeah, I did
Sit around and talk a lot. I'm really good at that.
But hey, I mean, that's just what you like to do. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I did get to play in the theme event on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Had a blast. I don't know if Chad listens to this podcast or if he's going to listen, but Chad, and I believe that was his brother or his good friend. I don't remember, but had some of the best games with them. And Chad just comes up with some of the craziest teams. Like, I look forward to some of these side events because I know, like, Chad's going to be there. And, like, what is he going to bring? Because he sometimes makes, like, the wackiest teams with, like, the pieces that the guy's just like, oh, yeah, that's trash. Oh, yeah, that's just nothing. But then, like, Chad comes and he's like, hey, I put these 5 figures together and I'm going to lock you down and I'm going to come in and punch you 5 times. And you're like, what just happened? And you're like,
That piece can do that?
yeah, like, what? Just, okay, that's cool. But had some great games on Thursday with them, just some good laughs. And, you know, there was only 8 players in that, and top 8 came out with a Venom, so that was cool.
That's not a bad prize.
Not a bad prize, so... got to eat a lot of good food, too. I still can't get over how
much food.
How much meat was ate at Fogo de Chao. Like, I think at this point,
Yeah,
Zach would probably still be there. Zach just didn't want to give up.
Has anybody checked? He may still be there.
Everybody's cards were red except for Zach. He was like, I just want some more filet. Like, we were eating dessert and he was still wanting meat. So
I can't. It was good, but I can't eat that much anymore.
oh man, it was a lot. But so
Yeah.
Gen Con was great. I know, like, you got Worlds coming up. I unfortunately won't be at Worlds. My work is keeping me because I'm not a good planner and bought a CT unit for my department, and the project is right in the midst of September and October. So,
And it's actually going to deliver on time?
yes, it's going to deliver on time. So it's delivering in October, but, like, you know, you have your project meetings, and being that I'm boss lady, I'm kind of important to be there. So just not good planning on my part, but but you guys will rock it. But I know you're going to Worlds. Are you going to play in any Pulp or Theme or anything, or are you just going to go straight for Nats or for Worlds?
No, I think I'm going to try to do. Let's see. Pulp is on Thursday, so I'll probably do that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ren as and Tony are teaming up to do Team Worlds again. So I think that one conflicts with Theme.
Okay.
One of them conflicts with Theme, either singles or team. I can't remember which one. But so I'll have to miss out on Theme. But I'm excited about playing Pulp. A little bit. Not as excited as Daniel, I'm sure.
Oh, the guys are just super excited about pulp. If you guys want to listen to their podcast, they talk about pulp a lot, how much they love it.
Yeah, it's their favorite. Definitely looking. I definitely want to try it and bring a little bit of different twist to what I want to play there than what I was thinking initially.
That's good.
But then I'm really excited for Team Worlds, and I'm hoping that we get Notorious for that, just so it's something fresh for everyone.
Yeah, that would be awesome if they did that. That way, it's like no one really has time. Like it's like you said, it's new for everybody. There's no like gimmicks to be planned. So
right, like last year we went in with a plan of the 3 types of teams we thought we would build, and then we built 2 of those 3 teams, and then the third one was just kind of crazy off the wall.
It worked.
It was effective.
It was effective.
I ended up playing Monarch last year, which was not in the plans, but it works.
I played against the Monarch at Gencon.
Really?
It did not pan out so well for the other guy. But I had never seen that piece before, so I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden it was like I made like the free barrier with Mad Jim like turn 1, and he's like, okay. I'm like, okay, now I get what you're doing. Now I know. So guess who did not place any barrier the rest of the game?
Yeah, he's like Molecule Man, but 20 points more expensive and not near as good.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if anything could be as good as Molecule Man. So
yeah.
But real quick, like, I mean, I'm not going to be at Worlds, but like, I do have to say this because I just have to get it off my chest a little bit that, I mean, I know the guys love pulp so much and they talk about it, and what I'm hearing consensus from Gencon for the pulp, it was just like, well, you better have Pulse Wave, you gotta have Pulse Wave, and it's like, man, I feel like I agree with some of the statements saying that the teams are so narrow for pulp. Like, if you want to do well in pulp, like, there is maybe like just a narrow lane of figures that you're wanting to put on your team. But I feel like WizKids has missed their mark on pulp. And hear me out, I feel that pulp should be themed, and I think because there are so many good commons and uncommons that have that special trait. And I know I posted this in our chat that, you get that booster and you pull that common Storm, okay? And you're like, okay, this is a cool trait that says if you play a friendly character with this same trait, then you get +1 and blah, blah, blah. Or you get to do this special power. And that's cool. But, like, you can't play it in meta because it'll just get annihilated. You can't play that kind of team. But, like, that's a perfect avenue for pulp. Like, to make it themed so that you specifically want to play those characters together to get those extra attacks or bumps in defense or special movements and stuff. Like, that's my take. I'm on my soapbox. I'm getting off my soapbox. I just think WizKids has missed their mark there. And I think if they would just rethink it a little bit, it could be really good. People will come up with some really cool teams. Now it's just, well, I'm either going to make you miss or I'm going to have Pulse Wave. Like, am I wrong?
Yeah, that's kind of what I saw. That's what I saw on almost every team. It was either Blue Marble or the dice manipulation, or in some cases both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was kind of surprised I didn't see more Deathstrokes. I don't think I saw any Deathstrokes.
Yeah.
Which I'm not positive why that was. It seems like that would be the #1 Pulse Wave piece.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot in pulp that you can. I mean, everybody talks about how meta's so broken, but like, what people don't realize is that pulp is even more broken if you don't limit it to like making it themed so that, you know, you can't play all these broken, you know, rare pieces together and then you're like, well, just gonna win because I have Pulse Wave, it can't hit me, and I'm gonna shoot you from across the map. So, like,
right,
you know,
yeah, there's a lot of broken still in the rare slot.
But yeah, that's
especially when there's no super rares or chases to combat the rare slot.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my take on Pulp. But I'm looking forward to hearing what Worlds is like for you guys. I'll be cheering you guys on. I know there's some talk on some people just not playing singles. They might play the silver event. I mean, like, I guess if that's your take, you know, do what floats your boat. I know if I was going to Worlds, I would play my Switch Saki team with Faust. That's a team I just love. Give them one last ride. Off into the dark.
So you're going to switch back? You would switch back to Faust now?
I would switch back to Faust. Like that MOE stuff, I get it. I understand why it's so very powerful, but like, man, I just have so much fun with Faust. Like, it's one of my favorite pieces, just to be like, you know what, you can prob, but I'm gonna roll a dice. Like, I just love that.
So you're saying you like multiple avenues of power racing?
Yes, very much so. And plus, I mean, I think Faust is one of those pieces that was so overlooked for many. Like, I just don't understand why people just didn't play him for 30 points? 30. He was 30 points.
I think he's 30, yeah. 60 or 30, but he really only has the 30 line that matters.
Yeah, but he's got enhancement, prob, outwit. He voops for free for 4 squares. He's got stealth. And he's got 8 range of, like, maybe turning off something of, like, not letting them use a perplex or outwit or prob. And people just didn't realize how good that was on small maps. Like, I remember a guy in Huntsville was like, so what's this Faust piece doing? And I was like, well, he's okay. And he's like, oh, okay. We went on a small map. I just put him right in the middle in stealth. And then he was like, he went to go do something. And I was like, rolled a 6. He's like, how much is his range? I'm like, 8. He's like, holy crap, he can see the whole map. I'm like, exactly. Like, it's fantastic. So,
yeah, it's... People forget that piece won Worlds last year.
Again, I just think he's something that piece that was very overlooked. But yeah, I hope you do well. If you're gonna win teams again, I have faith. I mean, I would like.
So try real hard.
I would like Daniel and Jason and Alex to win, just because I want Daniel to win. But I mean, if you guys go 1-2, it's okay. I'll take that.
Yeah, we'll take that. That'll be a nice weekend.
Man, I still remember Anthony's hands shaking so bad in that finals match. That poor guy, man, he was shaking. Yeah. He was shaking. So, but that was such a cool experience.
He knew that it came down to him whenever the other 2 games were done, and nobody had celebrated yet.
Oh yeah, like, because I mean, if you both had won, you guys would have just probably been like, "Hey, it doesn't matter," like,
right.
You know, because LTVH looked up and was like, and I think someone like on their team was like, it's 1-1. Like, he knew. So.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, best of luck at Worlds. I think it's going to be good. I hope they are a little bit faster in their registration process than last year.
It can't be slower, right?
Well, don't count WizKids out. We don't know. But
no, I have faith they'll iron out the kinks. I think they weren't expecting that many people to show up fresh off the COVID year, and it was just way bigger pull than they expected.
And I think the thing is I don't necessarily think that they thought like the Gencon stuff was going to fill out, but it was, the WizKids area was popping. Even
it
though,
really was.
even like the Learn to Plays, even the learn to plays were like, there was new people doing those. And it was nice to see. The battle royales were always full. So, and all the tournaments were pretty much full. So, it was good to see that. Hopefully WizKids...
It was encouraging for the future of the game to see that many people playing.
I hope that WizKids takes note of that we're still here. We still want to play. Like, I know that they hear us all the time, like, come on, give us events. But it's like, we're here to play. We're showing up. Let's give us some stuff. So, I just want to bring up a new topic. Again, this is just a very laid-back podcast. But something that I want to talk to TJ about, not PJ, TJ. I was literally looking at PJ's post. Is since World Light, has there been a chase set like A60 that's just like demanded the prices that it's demanding? Like, and we had this talk going over to Owensboro. We're like, So what are your takes?
I can't remember any hitting consistently, this level. I mean, the Dooms, when they first came out, there were 3 or 4 that were in that mid 100 to 200 range.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, well, Dooms were good.
Dooms were good, but
then they fell. I mean, they just...
They fell hard. I can't remember another set that's been this consistently high valued.
Yeah, and so we were talking, and I said, I was thinking about all the sets, and I'm like, well, there was the Mighty Thor that came to mind because of, you had Thor with Mew Mew, and you had a Beta Ray Bill, but the rest of the chases were like, meh, Yeah. But really, I mean, and then we also thought about like XSS, like the X-Men set, because it had like Jean Grey and Cyclops and Iceman. But again, we were like, well, those were only good because of ID cards. And there was only like
and
maybe
you could use multiples. Yeah.
Yeah, so then we were like, okay, that's semi-solid. So we were just like, there really hasn't been a set of chases like A60 that has just been so demanding on price and just
during that time frame, it's always been like there might be you're looking for that $130 chase, and that's the big one. Mm-hmm. And now that's like the middle of the road for the MOEs.
That's getting you a Black Skull, okay? Yeah. You want a Dark Phoenix, you're going to double that. Like, it's...
Right, exactly.
It's
so crazy right now.
It's insane. But I was telling Daniel, like, I was thinking about this, and I said, so this is my take. Now, the reason why I think some of the chase sets really didn't demand these high prices. Now, we've had some great chases. Like, there's been some great chases that really haven't seen play just because, or it hasn't demanded these prices just because back in the day, and this is pre-rules change and everything, building theme was important. So there was a lot of great chases out there that you were like, man, this piece is good, but the keywords kind of suck. And it really doesn't fit on my team, like my theme team. So you were like, well, I just can't play it. So it just didn't demand the prices. But now, building theme is not important at all. I mean, you get a +3 to map. Okay, whoop-de-doo. Like, you don't get the theme team props anymore. So why build theme? Like, I would much rather just put a hodgepodge of all the good pieces on my team and be like, I'm not theme anymore. So
that's very true.
And so
I think another thing with the MOEs is that they take up one slot on your build sheet that's 50 points.
Yes,
and
exactly.
it's normally 4 or 5 pieces that take up those 50 points.
Yeah.
So the value, so you're really, if you look at it that way, you're talking like $700 or $800 for one slot on your team.
Exactly. And I mean, back to World Light, the World Light chases, granted they were lanterns, and lanterns always bring in the money, but they were resources. So they were kind of like MOE in the sense that they were on your sideline to help boost your characters, which MOE does. MOE's that piece that's going to say, I'm going to give you guys a rollout, or I'm going to be able to give you this. And then guess what? I'm going to swap for free, and I'm going to take a token off. I'm going to heal somebody. Like, that's just insane.
It's automatic willpower.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, I give it to WizKids. They've come out with just a great chase set, but, you know, just thinking in the past, it's like, what else has really demanded that? We couldn't think of any other chase set that it's like every chase you wanted, like you had to have. Now, granted, some of the MOE you don't have to have for your sideline. You can decide to not play, like the Doom Supreme, but you need them in the sense that what if matchup, you know, like they're just so good for the versatile of the game of, okay, if you face this team, you're going to play this. If you face this kind of team, you're going to play this.
Exactly. That's the discussion. We're talking about cutting one, you know, and it's like, well, what do you do? Who do you get rid of? Because you need something for every slot in your Swiss Army knife.
So if you want to play defensive, you're going to want Killmonger. If you want to be offensive, you're going to want Inquisitor. And it's just, each matchup is just like, it's a game of chess before the game even starts.
Exactly.
Yeah. So before we get on to the next section of this podcast, I do want to just mention that if you like what you're hearing today or any time on the podcast of Clixed Off, just check us out at patreon.com/Clixed Off. $1 and above gets you entered into our monthly giveaways, mostly donated by trollandtoad.com. $5 and above gets you entered into our exclusive Discord server for HeroClix strategy and tactics discussion. So again, if you like what you're hearing, we'd love to have you on as a Patreon. I know we have a lot, so thank you to everyone that does donate to our team and our podcast. It helps us to continue what we're doing and also expand, like today, like with the Revamp of Sudden Death. So, and then also real quick before we get into our new section is, if you're, check out the HeroClix Cafe of Auxxit. Link to join the Auxxit is a value sponsored of Clixed Off, and it's a great place to sell your HeroClix with weekly auctions. So if you're looking to sell some clicks, look on Auxxit and they can possibly get those sold for you. So if you're listening to this and you used to listen to the Sudden Death podcasts, Alex and I used to do this buy-sell trade portion, and I always was like, Alex, like, if I have the piece, I'm going to sell it, but if I don't have the piece, I'm going to buy it. Like, this doesn't make sense. So, I feel like we're going to just X out the buy-sell trade, and we're going to talk about just some key pieces that you would have in your box for silver or modern going into Worlds. I'll let you go first, TJ.
Okay, I'm going to go a little different, but I think Alex is going to like me here. I think you need to have Merlin ready. The game is so free action heavy that I think Merlin could be a sneaky play.
Sneaky. Someone's going to play Merlin now at Worlds, and I'm going to be so happy.
I've considered it, but I'm going to stick with what I practiced.
I concur with that statement. I would totally back you on that, but I know we talk about Merlin a lot in the chat, and he's that piece that he's going to show up, and he's going to do some stuff. Like, I know people are like,
he's going to ruin somebody's day.
I know people are like, oh, he doesn't bother me. I'm like, dude, I've played against him. Like, he bothers you. Just because when you think, oh, I'm going to do this, no. Okay, I can't, what? I can't sidestep. I can't. It like messes your whole turn.
If you're going to get halfway through a turn and realize you can't sidestep or can't perplex, and be stuck because you've already made attacks and stuff, and you're going to be stuck there.
Yeah, you're going to be stuck. No free TK, nothing. Yeah. Merlin's a good choice.
I would for sure make sure you have a Merlin.
I love it. Well, do you have anything
what about
else?
You?
Oh, do you have anything else?
I'll think on another one.
Okay.
I'll think on another one here.
I'm going to say, now I know this piece is about to retire, but I've talked about it before. Faust. I would have him in your box. He's so good. He's so versatile. He's going to be great in silver. Like, they're not going to touch him. Like, they're not going to put him on watch list or anything. He's just good. Like, again, stealth, enhancement, free Voop, prob, outwit. Put a warlock sword on him and he's got shape change. Like,
oh, that's just giving me flashbacks.
He's just so good. Like, I'm telling you, if he wasn't, I wish he wasn't retiring. He's one of my favorite pieces I've played with in a long time. So.
He just does it all for 30 points. It's so crazy.
Exactly. He does it all for 30 points. You don't need to play him at 60 points. That's not worth it.
No.
Now,
never.
Granted, he does die a lot. But he's got mystics, too. So, there's that. So.
Yep.
Got anything else that you're putting in your box?
Oh, other than, I'm trying to stay off the main meta because everybody knows they have that ready.
MLE chases.
MLE chases Mephisto, right?
Better find that Mephisto.
I don't think we see enough death metal Wonder Woman.
Exactly. We saw her a lot.
I think she's very good.
We saw her a lot in Florida. Like when she first came out. I think there was like the first event for her after Worlds was Florida. And she's so good. Why don't we see her?
Right now. I haven't figured that one out, and maybe it's just everybody realizes or thinks that they're going to come kill my team, or I'm going to go kill their team. She's not relevant.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I see her on the map, she does something that changes the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, and I think Rob played her Gallagher at Nationals.
Yeah.
I believe she was on his team.
I think she
was very integral. And I think she was the only one in the field, if I remember right.
Maybe. Going on with that, I'm thinking like post-rotation now. And I'm just thinking now, I am not one that keeps up on what's coming in Notorious. I know like some Black Lanterns are coming, and I just don't have the time or mind space to be on my phone watching these videos during the day because I'm usually in meetings, but and I can't follow the chat because these guys are talking like 1,500 words a second, and they're like, you can't even like read the chat because it just keeps refreshing. And you're just like,
if you miss 5 minutes, it goes back to catch up on 40 missed messages.
Yes, like seriously. And it's like, I can't, I'm like, I just want to be like, calm the fuck down, people. Like, just please. This is
we get excited.
You guys do get excited. And I like it, but there's some days I look at my phone and it's just like, you have 56 notifications from the Clixed Off chat. And I'm like, what is on fire today? And then I'm like, oh, they previewed something. Okay. Well, let's read if Daniel's shitting all over it, or if Alex is like putting it on his Avengers team, or so. But I think post rotation of what I'm having in my box is World's Finest. Now
that is a good pick.
I'm pretty sure the card is not rotating, correct?
No, he'll be around for.
I think,
at least till next
and
year.
this goes along with your pick with Death Metal Wonder Woman. I think that combo is tough. Now, back to Death Metal Wonder Woman.
Sure.
Don't sleep on her. Just you thinking, oh well, she's just good for reviving somebody. No, she has like flurry and like 4 damage. So do not sleep on her. And she has mystics, and it's deadly. But pair that with World's Finest. I mean, what's gonna stop World's Finest right now?
Yeah, especially a high point in World's Finest.
Yeah, 175 World's Finest with some other stuff.
It's a lot to chew through.
It's gonna be a lot to chew through. Even like Scarlet Witch. I mean, I couldn't beat it. Like Zach played it in Tennessee. I was able to kill some things and run because I knew I was not going to be able to get through that World's Finest. So that's a piece I would have in my box ready to go if I was to, go into an event. So I don't...
making a note to grab a World's Finest now.
There you go. I think it's good. It's good at 60 points. It's good at 175. I mean, there's not going to be...
That mid-dial's kind of iffy.
Yeah. I mean, it's just... you're going to have the APOX and... I mean, Notorious, it's going to come down to what comes out Notorious. I mean, heck, you play World's Finest with MOE. Like, World's Finest is always going. Like, he's always making attacks. So...
oh, that's... yeah. And free attacks. Yeah, I don't dislike that at all. That sounds great.
I mean, I wouldn't, I wouldn't sleep on it for sure. Again, I mean, like, you have your big meta pieces that you're always having in your box. I think, this is the time that people are probably like dumping a lot of good meta pieces. So like if you play casual or you plan on playing some silver events or even like Rock Age, I'm not sure if they're going to do Rock Age, but if you plan on playing that stuff and like you don't have a Saki or you don't have a Venom Mags or people are kind of dumping those right now for cheap.
Yes. Buy a Saki right now if you don't have one.
Yeah,
now is the time.
Now's the time. He's just a good piece to have. I mean, it's a cool sculpt. Venom Mags is a piece, like, if you don't have him, if you can find him cheap now, get him. He's so good. He's so versatile. Venom Mags is probably one of the best pieces in the game in the past 5 years. Like, if I had to rank 1 through 5, Venom Mags is in my top 5.
Yeah, I think since I started playing, he's top 5.
Yeah, he's just good, period. But yeah, if you're out there looking to, you just don't like, you're like, I haven't kept up with some of the meta pieces. If you don't have a Switch, she's going down in price. Like, remember back in the day when she was $250, now she's like maybe $100.
It's crazy how quick once rotation was announced, the prices just dropped.
Mm-hmm. But MOE hasn't dropped. MOE's going up. So,
yeah. Ride that to the moon.
Yeah. If you find some A60 boosters, buy them. Hopefully pull a chase and sell it. So
it's either going to be a chase or a rare Hulk in my experience.
That's true. You've pulled 1 or 2 Mephistos?
1 Mephisto.
You pulled 1 Mephisto.
Yep.
Yeah. I pulled 1 Mephisto, and then of course Daniel had a Mephisto, so we just sold my Mephisto. I was not going to go out and buy another whole set of MOE, knowing that I wasn't really going to be playing much meta in the foreseeable future. But,
I don't even want to know what a whole set goes for right now. That's a scary thought.
Yeah, I wonder if the guy that won Nats, he got a factory set. Like, did he sell it or did he keep it? Like, if I would
have been tempted to sell it.
I mean, I would be like, I'd put that sucker up for like $3,000 and be like, Who wants it? I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. And probably could have got it.
Probably. Because there's people that just like to have factory sets. Like, I mean, that was... I mean, I wish there was an option for you to just buy a factory set from WizKids. Wouldn't that be cool? Like,
that would be awesome.
I mean, like, it'd be coming at a premium price. Like, you can either buy boosters or you can spend, $2,000 and buy a factory set. Now, you get everything, so you might get all the, junk pieces you don't want, but you get everything. Wouldn't that just be cool and easy?
Yeah.
You don't have all these random...
I wish they packaged them the old way still, though.
Yes,
I don't... everything crammed in a cardboard box is not my favorite.
I don't like that either. I know when Howard was unboxing the States, and it was all these, like, little baggies, I'm like, man, like, go back to the big boxes and the plastic containers, and because you could, like, display those. I think that's why a lot of people liked them, because you could actually, like, display them against, like, in your office. So.
And, like, people could see you with those and know exactly what it was without even having to get that close. Mm-hmm. Now it just looks like it's a cardboard box. Yeah. I know there was one store... Which I guess they started last year with that.
Yeah, they started last year at Worlds. That's the first time I saw it. I know there was a store up in Indy that had, like, up on a shelf, like, up on a back wall, they just had, like, so many factory sets, like, on display. And I was like, that is so neat, But...
Oh, yeah, that would be really cool.
I don't know whatever happened to those. Someone probably bought them. Someone's storing them somewhere. I bet it's PJ. PJ Brawlin.
I thought he said he didn't own HeroClix.
Yeah. So, anyway, any other pieces you think of that we should be buying? I don't think so.
Nothing right off. Not outside of their standard. Like, get you a Prime Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's important. And in Silver Age, get a Sky Tyrant. It's gonna matter.
I have a feeling that Silver Age is about to get hit with a big list. And I say that not for WizKids doing it. I think that Rock will do it, just because Rock does the Rock Cup. They do a bunch of big silver events. I think that they tend to listen to the players a little bit more, and so I think it's going to get hit with a big list of saying, hey, like, we're not going to be okay with some of these combos that's been going rampant.
Right. It's like WizKids just pushing that problem down to Silver Age. Let the Rock deal with the Scarlet Witch answer.
Yeah. We don't really need 5 Scarabs. That's just... I mean, I think it's a funny team when you think about it, because, like we say, here we are playing like a $2,000 team, and then you have 5 Scarabs that are just super powerful that like... What, Scarabs is like $60 a piece now? Like...
Yeah, but you built the whole team for less than 400 probably?
Maybe 400? That's pushing it, like...
Just because of the constructs.
Yeah, the constructs cost more than dang Scarabs.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I just one of those, I think about the game, I think about in the past how it was, and people just complain so much about ID cards. They say, gosh, ID cards are just bad for the game. It's like, okay, everybody needs to wake up and just look at sidelines right now, because there's constructs that are coming in for free. There's these tarot cards that we do not have to pay for, that just, they mess with the game so much. They impact the game so much that it's like, they're free. Like, we had to pay for an ID card. Like,
well, part of the time.
Part of the time, yes. But it's also like you had to think about, sideline slots, and at least you can look at your opponent and look at their sideline and you say, okay, they have a Nick Fury, They've got a Holt coming in. All right, they've got, Hawkeye or Wonder Woman or Nightwing. Okay, they're going to come in, want to do Charge Flurry. But now it's like, well, they've got 3 sets of constructs, and I don't know what they have in their tarot deck. And, I mean,
yeah.
You don't know when it's like, you know what's in their tarot deck, but you don't know when it's coming up,
Right.
It's always the what if.
And what a disservice to MOE that we got the sideline shrunk right before a chase set that lives on the sideline.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's a double-edged sword because it's probably good, because could you just imagine having
It's definitely good.
If you had all,
definitely good.
6 of them?
Could you imagine? Even the Hound would be expensive if you could have all of them.
Yeah. I mean, because you'd want all of them. Just to say, one, I got all of them, and 2, again, they each have their purpose. They each have their, certain scenario that they're just good for. I mean, it's kudos to WizKids for doing that, but also, these sidelines are just crazy right now. I mean...
Yeah, I can't imagine a world where we still had 9 pieces on the sideline right now.
Yeah. And then they give us less space to play on. So we're like...
yeah.
Here, just cram all your stuff into one little box, and you're like, I don't have space. Oh, but yes, the game is just evolving so quickly, and they say, we're going to make it easier for the common man, but then we're going to make it very complex at the same time. It's like, and we're going to change the rules. It's like, what? And then we're going to take all these maps that you're used to playing on, and we're going to make them smaller. It's like,
okay.
Yeah. All right. This is great. And then what we're going to do is we're going to now add this terrain that you don't have to pay for, and it can do stuff. And you're just like, just bring it back to the good old days.
There's so much going on the map at the same time.
Yes. Now you have to worry about standing next to a freaking terrain marker, because you could just get it. You could just get it TK'd from underneath if you can just fall off of it.
Heck, you don't have to be near it. It can come across the map to you and then get pulled out from under you.
That is very true. I did not see that. I really want to see that in gameplay. I don't want that to happen to me, but I want to see that happen.
It's fun.
I could see that being fun, but not if I'm the person that's getting my pieces. Oh hey, there's this terrain. It's gonna go underneath even, and now it's not underneath even. You take damage and you can't do anything about it. And I think I would just shake my opponent's hand and say, "Good game. I'm gonna go to the bar.
Right.
I'll go to the bar and drink a beer. I'll see you in 45 minutes." So
wake me up when it's the next round.
Yeah, I'll see if I get the buy. I do have to say, going back to Gencon though, that all the qualifiers were sold out, but there were I was able to play Friday morning, and did not get in Friday morning, but I was able to get in Friday afternoon because there were slots open. It's like, did people just not show up, or did people just were able to buy multiple? Did we ever figure that out, or?
I know a couple people were driving in and had some car trouble. At least that was an issue with Thursday and with Friday, for at least one slot each. But multiple people got into multiple qualifiers throughout the weekend.
Yeah, Friday afternoon, there was 6 people trying to get in, and they took 5. I was one of the 5 that got in Friday afternoon.
But I know even the Friday morning had 3 or 4 people join it from Thursday.
Yeah. And then Saturday mornings wasn't even full. I think they only had 12 players. So they were short 4.
Wow. And I know the Thursday that I played in, we had 15 people because we had a bye in the qualifier.
I know, the thing is, I wish I would have just brought my stuff and just played Thursday. But then that's when it had been like, first round, Sam Powell, Daniel Powell. And I'm like, well, again, I'm just going to go, peace out, I'm going to go to the bar. Like.
Well, it could be like, I had the first round, I hadn't even played the team yet, and it's like, here you go, here's Isaac.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Well, I guess I get to learn now.
You have rocked it, TJ. I have to just commend you. You've done so well. I know, like,
Thank you.
just have rocked it out. Like, it's amazing to see how much, like, our whole team has grown. So it's cool. I hope we continue to grow, and so we just gotta maybe get Alex to play Merlin. And
I would love to see Alex play Merlin at Worlds. Let's can we get a Patreon goal?
yeah, Patreon. If we can get a Patreon goal, if you're a Patreon and want to donate to the Make Alex Play Merlin at Worlds, please message us and we will start this up.
I don't think it would take that much to convince him.
I don't think so. I think we're really close in the chat.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I just know he loves his Avengers. He loves that swap stuff. I don't see how that is, like, good for the game when they're trying to make it very, like, simple for the common man. And they're like, hey, we're going to start off with these pieces on the board, then I'm going to swap out these pieces for these pieces because the math works out. We're like, what? Like, hopefully the math works out. Like, I mean, I trust my opponent a lot in those scenarios. Like,
same.
I mean, I am not one that's like, okay, so that's 45 and you're swapping for 25 and this, and like, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So, like, if I find out, like, you've been cheating me, like, next time I see you, it's on. So, and I know
it's an effort to let you play more pieces, I suppose. But realistically, it's just put more pieces on a build sheet and just end up playing the same that you would have played anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it goes back to, like, you have the theme and you're doing some crazy swap stuff, but I don't know.
It's a lot of effort for me for the 3+3 bonus.
Yes, exactly. I'm more of, like, focus. Like,
the free Mephisto is a cool thing. I like that.
Yeah, I get that.
But I don't want to put the effort in to actually do that because it's a lot for me.
Yeah. Like, Jalen does a really good
it's
version.
Cool.
I think Jalen's version of swap is probably one of the best I've seen.
Yes, I 100% agree.
I mean, he's been very successful with it. He got top 8 as well. Correct? Yeah, he got top 8.
Yes, that's correct.
And, like, just an overall just well-built team that, I mean, again, he does the swap and he's able to start off with some good pieces, and if for some reason you're stopping a swap, he's not hurting that bad. Like, he still has a very solid team. He's just making it better by swapping it. So
there's one more piece to have in the box. Dr. Thing.
Dr. Thing's good. I think all the Doom Chasers would be good.
Yeah. Limit the actions with the Doom. Yeah, there's still legs there.
I still think there's legs there, but they tanked. I don't even know why they tanked. Like, they were doing so good. They were so much fun to play, and then they just kind of, like, fell off the face of the earth. But
they're not the new hotness anymore.
That's the name of the game, you know. We sit here and talk A60 chases, and then, like, Notorious is going to come out, and it's going to be like, who cares about freaking Mephisto? I got a Black Lantern. It's like,
I've got a Superman that can be on click 1 on turn 1.
Yeah. So I mean, it's going to be the new hotness, and
he's like Carnage Surfer, but easier to pull off.
You know what? I still think, what was the team that I said last? Was it this weekend I told Daniel, I said, man, if I was playing post-rotation, like, I would just play 2 Carnage Surfers, 100-point Arachnite, and other stuff.
Spider-Man?
And other stuff. Like, just go, my children, and you just don't die. I mean,
Yeah.
Carnage Silver Surfer's gonna be a tank after a rotation. Like, he's already very good. I think he's very good. Now, he's kind of squishy right now because you have the Necrosword you gotta worry about, and you got, like, Switch. But, like, once the Necrosword's gone, I mean, granted, you have to hit your shape change super senses, but, like, he's gonna be able to, like, a good player is gonna be able to manipulate him, so he's coming in, attacking, and getting out of the harm's way.
Yes, he's going to be really hard to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, depending on what we haven't seen yet,
Yeah, they'll probably come out with something that's like, hey, this piece has automatic battle fury and can voop across the map turn 1. And
we do have Super Adaptoid, who can function as a Necrosword.
yeah, but who's gonna play that, TJ? Okay.
I mean, somebody who gets tired of people hitting their shape change and super senses.
That's very true. Maybe they'll play it with Merlin.
somebody like me who'll be like, I'm so tired of this. You can't use those now. I don't want you to have powers.
Yeah. I did. I mean, we did talk a little bit about Silver. And I kind of had a little moment for Daniel because he talked about how Uni right now is just taking a hit because, I mean, he can shoot all day against a Prime Spider-Man, but Prime Spider-Man's most likely going to hit those super senses. So, I mean, like,
right.
Uni just dies. And it was like a sad moment. It was a sad moment in the Powell household. I mean, like...
Yeah.
I mean...
I know everybody really enjoyed the change to the Wonder Woman and Spider-Man team abilities, but in hindsight... Ugh.
But in hindsight, but then it's like, okay, that's cool. Like, we're going to get +1 to super senses. Like a 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to come off these tarot cards. And we're going to give you one that gets +1. Like, to your rolls. To your super senses and your shape change. And, hey, +1 to 1d6 roll. And we'll have a one that says you can re-roll a d6 roll.
And then like, here's a set of bracelets that also give you the other team ability that you're missing. So now you just get another +1.
Oh yeah, so just don't roll a 1, and you'll be fine.
But you can re-roll it. So
yeah.
If you do roll the 1 the first time, you get a second try.
Yeah, that's true. Now I have been on the back end of that with Faust, having, I think it was the Ace of Wands and High Priestess up, and rolling a 1 5 times with Faust. And it was horrible.
Ooh. It
was bad. It was not fun. And I ended up dying. So...
you completely demoralized your whole game at that point.
Pretty much. It was one of those, it was like, I just need anything but a 1. Like, I need like a 3, 4, 5, 6. Just something. Like... Give me something. But, so we do have some questions on the Facebook. Brad Boyles was wanting to know, have we bought in to the Lorcana, the Disney card set that's taken over the world right now?
I want to. I have not yet purchased any, but I want to try it. The cards just look really cool. Even if the game's not great, I'm a sucker for cool-looking cards.
Mm-hmm.
I still occasionally will buy Magic cards just because some of them look cool.
Yeah.
And haven't played in years. So I'm sure it's coming.
Now, I'll tell you about Gencon. I mean, that Lorcana stuff, like, I know Jason and them were, like, checking the Facebook pages and stuff every morning because there was people waiting from, like, 2:30 in the morning and waiting, like, 16 hours to, like, get the starter set and stuff. Like, I mean, I get it. It's Disney and it's a card game. Okay.
I was not standing in a line for 16 hours.
No,
for
thank
anything.
you. No, thank you. I mean, no. I'm not wasting my Gen Con experience waiting in line for something that's going to come out in the stores where I could just order online. Now, I am a big DC deck builder fan, so I do like playing card games in that sense. I just never played any like freestanding card games like Magic or Pokemon or anything like that. So I think the cards look great. I'm a Disney fan. I love all the Disney movies. I think the cards are awesome looking. We have not bought any. I know that I told Daniel, I was like, if we find like a couple packs, I just want to buy them just to see what I pull. Right. Like not really to see like to go play the game, but just be like, I just want to like buy a couple packs and see if I pull something good. I randomly do that with like Magic or Pokemon. Just like at the store, I was like, I'm just gonna buy a pack of Pokemon just to buy the off chance I pull something that's just really cool and I could sell it for $50 or so. Like just to say, cool, I pulled this. Like that's cool. I don't know what it does, but
yeah, I always tell myself I'm gonna sell them, and then they just stay in my box.
Well, but yeah, I know that Jason and Zach and is Jeremy buying into it? I'm not sure.
I think so.
Jason pulled one of the really good cards, like the epic legendary Mickey Mouse. Don't quote me on this, Lorcana fans. Do not come across don't come across at me on the Facebook and say Sam don't know shit about Lorcana. I don't. Okay, I don't know anything about Lorcana, but he pulled like the really good Mickey Mouse. So.
Oh, like the Fantasia Mickey Mouse?
No, it was like I don't know. It had like a sword and I don't know. He looked shiny. Okay. He looked shiny. Like they were saying it was like a $350 card. I mean, it's probably more now. I don't know. It was it was like an epic. Imagine pulling like the Ultra Chase. Like, I guess that's what it's equivalent to. Maybe it's even rarer than the Ultra Chase. Again.
Yeah, it's beyond me.
Lorcana is just a Disney character card game to me, so. I did like how Alex, all Gen Con was like, look, guys. Like, we need Disney HeroClix. Like, if Lorcana is doing this, like a card game, just imagine if we had Disney HeroClix. I'm like, I really don't want to have to play Timon and Pumbaa together to have a team up of like, let's do the hula. Like.
Now that's all I want is a Timon and Pumbaa HeroClix.
And that way we could just like team up and do the hula. Like, could you imagine how cool that would be? But then, then you open up a whole can of worms. Like, that's too much. That's way too much.
Yeah, that could spiral fast.
Then we'd have all these.
Got my Tinkerbell carrying around Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Because somehow Ant-Man made her a colossal.
And then you got, say you have like Moana coming in on her ship, like just random stuff. Like Pinocchio, like you roll a d6 and that's how far his nose grows, and that's his giant reach. Like, I mean, just
yes.
WizKids, if you're listening. Contact TJ.
WizKids, hire us now.
TJ and I are up for hire. We can build you a Disney set. We got this. Michael Holt asking, so why don't we keep legacy cards out of the rotating sets for an additional year? Honestly, I don't even know what legacy cards are retiring. I couldn't. Are there any good ones that are?
The relevant ones.
Ymir.
Thanos. Lockjaw.
Ymir wouldn't it?
Ymir and Surtur will retire, yes.
Which we never really... I played Ymir, but we didn't see Surtur at all.
I played Surtur once. It was not... It wasn't like what we wanted. So
Yeah,
save Surtur for Silver Age. That's where he belongs.
Yeah, play the old Surtur card.
Yeah, it's much better.
Just like Carnage. Play the old Carnage.
I like both Carnages. I like new Carnage a lot myself.
Okay.
There's some Sentinels I think that are going away. I don't know.
Yeah. I think they
it would be very confusing to keep those in an extra year when they're tied to that set.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I think the whole legacy card idea is great because it's bringing back some old pieces. Now, we have had some very powerful pieces, aka Thanos and Lockjaw. But, I think, like you said, it's tied to the set. If we made exceptions for that, then it just skews the whole process. And I know with, like, when you think about, like, the con exclusives, that already gets kind of hairy. And you always have people mad. Because it's like, well, that con exclusive didn't come out to so-and-so. And this one got 3 years. And this one only got 2 years. And it's like, okay, well, it just depends on the timing, I guess.
Yeah,
Some people just they just get shafted. They just get an early retirement.
There's always going to be a set that has the least amount of time getting retired and one that has the longest amount of time getting retired. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter where you draw the line, that's always going to be the case. So
yeah.
The newest set retiring is always going to be around a year younger than the oldest set.
And I think the thing is like, COVID kind of hurt a little bit of the rotation just because, COVID, we didn't have too many sets, except, like, right after, like, when COVID started dying down, like, it's like all of a sudden we had all these sets coming at us, but,
yeah.
I mean, I remember
it was interesting, the retirement of JOU last year.
Yeah. Because
it never got to experience a Worlds, right?
Yeah, it just
never... Or did it get one?
I think it got one. But it didn't get its glory. I don't think it got its shine.
Yeah. And something nobody's talking about for some reason is the fact that Exo Swords is going to potentially end up with 3 Worlds. Because
oh my gosh, yes. Yes, because it came out and we had tarot cards for Worlds. Then it's going to be
and we had Mad
this
Jim
year.
At Worlds last year.
And it's going to be good for this year. And if they don't change the date, if they do
3 Worlds with Exo Swords, yep.
Well, hey, going back to the section, if you need something, if you need Exo Sword tarot cards, now's the time to buy them.
Yes, especially there's an influx from the rock states.
Yes, and plus, they did some of those Exo Swords for Gencon. I know there was a lot.
Yes, because there's more stars in the wild.
Yes. I know Dana was able to. I think we talked to one of our local stores, and he was able to order some more to put on the shelf. Because we're like, hey, could you order some more Exo Swords? And he was able to order some, I think, to just put on the shelf, like, to see. I don't know.
That's impressive right now.
I know, like. But yeah, but also, think about the WizKids fan appreciation event. They were giving them away.
They were. I opened a Merlin that day.
I know. Thanks. You were sitting right next to me, TJ. It was great. It's fantastic.
You chose which pack to keep.
I know. It was just I sensed that you really needed the Merlin. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is he like? Did you sell him for like $15, or do you still have him?
I still have him.
Yeah. You should keep him, and then when Alex does so well with him at Worlds, because we're going to get this Patreon money coming in to make Alex play Merlin at Worlds, that we'll have them sign the Merlin, and then we could auction him off.
We can give it away to one of the patrons, but when
yes.
the signs,
yes.
So well
if you are one of the lucky ones that are in the Patreon group to donate, if Alex does well with Merlin, he signs the Merlin, and then we we give it away.
It is a spare Merlin for me, so I can sacrifice a Merlin.
I mean, I would even just go buy a Merlin and sacrifice it at this point. If we get an influx of Patreons because of this, TJ, this might be the last show we ever do. The one and last show that the guys let us do. So,
or it works.
Or it works, and a lot of people like what we do. So, I do want to point out, I know people have been asking about Mr. Chomps, and I've been talking to his agent. I think we've got something in mind. So,
ooh, this is breaking news.
I know, breaking news, all hot off the press. So, I'm working on something, people. Okay, we just got to hang in with me, and we'll see what we can do. The only bad thing is Mr. Chomps is getting pretty old, so I'm not sure if he's going to be a wrestling gator anymore. But his agent and I are talking, so we got something in mind. So, that's all I got, TJ, unless there's something else you want to talk about.
I think that's all for me today.
Yeah? I mean, we had some good conversation. Like I said, this is going to be just fun. We're going to talk stories. I want to get some people on here. Be thinking of some people that that you'd want to maybe have on. I mean,
sure.
I don't want I love these guys to death. Like, I love LTVH, I love PJ, they already have their own podcast. Like, I'm talking, let's get those just random casual players that just show up and whoop your ass in Modern, and you're just like, that's cool. I mean, that's awesome. I'm glad that we have new players out here, like, running the world now. So, I mean, look at our national champion. Like, I've never heard of that guy before, and he won nationals. And
he went undefeated the entire week.
And I think
that is amazing.
Wasn't it Daniel said that he had just started playing at like War of Realms? I'm like.
So he came back to the game. I think he said during Rise and Fall.
Rise and Fall. Well.
Mm-hmm. But he had played previously, but came back. So. Basically at the start of this rotation, more or less.
I mean, kudos to him. Like, it's awesome. I mean, you think about...
It's amazing.
I mean, here's the thing. That's what's changed that I like about it. Is that you look at the game, say, 6 years ago, and you show up to Nationals Worlds, and you had the big names. Like, you were like, okay, there's about 25 people here that... one of them is going to win, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because the game was just so dominant in those players. Now it's like you show up and you're just like, it's anybody's game. Like
you have to be ready to go every round.
Every round, like you're not playing. And I don't like to use the word scrub because I mean I love having new players playing, and you got to get out there, you got to play, but you got to be ready to sit across from the person you're sitting across from, because you may not know them, but they know the game. Like,
and maybe WizKids is doing it right by simplifying the game, and we're just not realizing it quickly enough.
They've simplified it too much that now we're just overcomplicating it.
Yes,
that's what we're doing.
The difference between the top 16 and the top half isn't what it used to be.
Yeah. I mean, like, I was just talking to, Emily a little bit. I was super excited getting top 16. I mean, you could have thought I, won nationals just getting top 16. But, there was a lot of people who did not make top 16 that are fantastic players. Like, that just... Mm-hmm. I mean, it was tough to do 3 rounds cut top 4. Like, you had to be on your game every round. And you had to score points. Like, if you won, with low points, you better be like, well, I better go 3-0. Like,
do you think this is a little conspiracy curveball? Maybe do you think that was WizKid's way of telling you to start playing the game and stop sitting in the corner?
That's opening a can of worms, TJ. That's opening up a whole galaxy of like conspiracy right now. I mean,
right?
are they making the maps?
Score points, you weren't making it on.
Yeah, are they making the map smaller to make us not? Yeah, I mean that's true.
They want you to play the game. They want you to fight. They want pieces to die.
And I think
they encourage that with less rounds and points mattering more.
Less rounds, points matter, and it's harder too because I mean I would go back to the complexity of the game when you get to flip over your tarot card. Then if you're doing any MOE swaps and you're doing any like you're mapping out your turn, I mean you're only getting about 6 to 7 turns a game. I mean, I know, like, I play fast, so I got a lot of turns each game. But, I mean, there's some games I've heard that you're not getting very many, so you better...
I think I averaged 5 throughout Nationals. 4 to 5.
You have to capitalize on every turn. So... Because, again, you need to score the points. There's no just there's no sitting back and sniping last minute and getting, 25 points and be like, okay, I won, and then if you drop your next game, you're just done. Your day's done.
Yeah, it's over. Might as well drop at that point.
Yeah. So, I did not drop any time. I'm not a fan of dropping. I'd rather just go 0-5 and just play it out just to play.
Completely agree.
Just because...
I don't think I've ever dropped from a tournament.
No, I've never dropped. It's one of those, I came to play, and that's how I'm going to learn. Now I'm gonna be.
I always think I paid my money to play. I'm gonna play. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, happens. Like if I go on 5, I go on 5. Like at least I played the team I wanted to play and had some fun, But yeah, there was. I mean, I had a lot of great games. That's a good conspiracy theory, TJ. Wow. I mean, if you're listening to this and you want to chime in, send us some messages. We'll gladly talk about it more.
For sure.
Now it's like Worlds. Okay, now this is the kicker, TJ. If WizKids is listening, you go to Worlds and they're like, okay, we have 175 players for singles. We're gonna do 3 rounds, cut the top 16.
They might let us do 4 and cut to 16. Then.
Oh, okay. So probably 4. That'll be nice. Be like,
yeah, last year we had 6 rounds.
Yeah,
I think.
Was it 6? Yeah, I think it was 6.
Yeah. And we played in round 6.
Yeah, we played in round 6. I played Scott Crampton and you, and it came down to just whoever won map. I was like,
yeah,
really?
I'm glad that's kind of over.
Yeah.
Oh, I stole your equipment. That means I won.
That's true.
I don't like that. I'm glad that's over.
Yeah, I feel like even if I do like the whole initiative kind of thing. I think that kind of gives a little bit more complexity to the game because you have to really think about like, well, do I let you choose map or do I go first? Like, do I get a setup first or like you can kind of screw over like a Spider-Man team a little bit if you think about it. So, anyway.
Yeah, there's so many things to think about when you're doing game setup.
Anyway, yeah, it'd be crazy. So, I hope you guys like listening to this podcast. Again, I'm not going to be as consistent as the guys, but I want to be more out there. I'm going to try to be doing this a little bit more often, setting up for Worlds. I'd like to get a couple before Worlds, just get some interviews from people that are going. Maybe get some people that are going to like really want to play Pulp and see what they're wanting to do there. So we'll work on that for you guys. If you're listening and you have any ideas of content you want us to talk about, If that's conspiracy theories of WizKids and how they're wanting us to score points, or, if you have an idea of, collecting Patreon money to make Alex do something at Worlds, we could talk about that. But send us a message, TJ or myself. We'll gladly try to get that on the podcast. So appreciate all you guys listening. TJ, do you have any final words?
Just play Merlin.
When in doubt, play Merlin. That's the perfect ending to this podcast. So I'm gonna tell Daniel to make that the title. When in doubt, play Merlin.
I love it.
Again, guys, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.